Microphones should be working. Let's just make sure it's all set. Enjoy.
Very good. Nice to be here, and the challenge of being lost, right? But I think we also have the opportunity of creating treasure here. So from trash to treasure. I'm Johan Berhin, and with me here I have Aija, Ines, and Luca. And guys, why don't you shortly introduce yourselves, and then we'll go into the treasure part.
Yeah, I'm Ines Bergmann-Nolting from Greencode Ventures. We are a fund focusing on the green transition. In particular, we're looking into companies in the early phase that accelerate with digital business models the green transition. And we are an Article 9 dark green impact fund. And as many funds in the climate tech space are looking very much on carbon only, we take a little bit broader approach on this topic. We call it a multi-lens approach that we have, because we believe that in the impact sphere in the green transition, you need to look then beyond carbon, and that's why also the topic of waste is interesting to us and we like to discuss.
Thank you, Ines.
Hello everybody. I'm Aija, CEO and co-founder of TerraWaste. And as the name suggests, TerraWaste is a waste recycling company, or we would like to position ourselves as new materials company, as we are using different kinds of waste as a raw material to turn it into oil. Then that can be later on used as again, raw material to produce new sustainable materials once again. And I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you, Luca.
Hi, everyone. I'm Luca Fortini. I'm sales manager of Anaergia. Anaergia is a Canadian company with offices also in Italy, where I come from, designing and supplying anaerobic digestion plant for biogas and biomethane production, starting from organic waste also. So this is why we turn trash to treasure, or we try to.
That's wonderful. And I'm Johan Berhin. I'm the founder of Green Furniture Concept, but also new startups around forestry and sustainable forestry coming in as construction materials. And my angle on the trash to treasure is really to postpone the trash as long as possible. So green furniture making things, reconfigurable, recyclable, usable furniture in this, and really having a circular economy system to postpone the waste. But so we have a representation on stage that is the chemical recycling of stuff. So chemical sounds sort of bad, and wonderful that you can do something great with it and actually turn it to treasure. And then we have Luca's side and the organic part of things then, and something maybe more established, and the challenge then of, as we heard Renaud saying before here, to making people actually put it in the right bin so you get it, making industries understand that they can actually make treasure out of this, and use the sludge water as well, and really from there creating fertilizers and biogas, and on the you're on the tech side and startup side of things, taking the chemicals and the plastics and creating a new raw material of that. It's quite impressive, I think, really. And then Ines representing the venture side of this, seeing the business into this and the capital behind it to take care of all this treasure. So I think it's quite an interesting gathering here, and I will launch a first question of what does it mean to you, treasure in this sense? How can the waste be treasured, and what are the challenges around that? Who wants to go first there? What are your challenges on creating that treasure?
Yeah, I think I can go first. The way we approach seeing waste or trash in that sense is that, you know, what is one man's trash, it's the other one man's treasure. So for us, we could actually say that we are building treasure from treasure, but the society sees it differently. So I would say that for us, the biggest challenge is the fact that people are pretty biased about what we are doing. So we have a lot of posters with greenwashing behind TerraWaste. So we actually have to deal with this and see how we can approach these the societal understanding of what we are doing, actually. That will be one challenge. But otherwise, I would say that, we are tackling one of the biggest challenges that humanity is facing today at this moment. And actually, we have set out to develop a technology that can actually do it in a sustainable and circular way. And the biggest challenge in that sense, the other one challenge would be for us not to strive into the easy way out, which would be like, because we are making oil, so that will be burning the oil or producing fuels out of oil. So we are saying no to all of that, as tempting as fruit that would be, and going directly back into sustainable materials, because we are actually creating something valuable out of waste or trash that other ones would be either landfilling, as we heard before, or burning, which is again very unsustainable.
Yeah, and you actually solve a quite practical problem there. You told me before you can take a mixture of plastics, for example, and handle that. So that's one of the problems that is generally faced here. So amazing new technology and possibilities in that, and then creating new plastics out of that raw oil that you get.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And what about your challenges, Luca?
Well, from my side, the main challenge is not strictly related to process or to the technical part. Mainly, it's the cost effectiveness of the solution, and also policies. Because as we heard before, still we have, for example, if we are talking about organic waste, still we have landfills, we have incineration, and of course, at the end of the day, the investor can be a municipality, but can be also a private company or an investment fund. And at the end of the day, the investor will take a look at the business plan. So if there isn't some help also from the regulation side, it will be maybe easier to put the waste in the landfill, and that's it. So this is one challenge, of course, from our side, because still there are a lot of countries. I come from Italy, and still in Italy there's this situation, less, but still we face it. Not all the organic waste goes to recycling. Sometimes goes to composting, and that's one step. But another step could be valorizing it through biomethane, biogas production, CO2 recovery. There are many ways, let's say, in the middle, many possibilities. And this is something that should be taken care of. I'm mainly working in Europe, and also in Europe, the situation is very different, country by country.
And one would think that what you produce, this is quite something valuable, right? You have biogas, you have fertilizers, and natural gas and synthetic fertilizers would be some of the most polluting things on the planet, really. So how come your product isn't valuable enough?
Of course.
So it doesn't pay, really.
It has a value, but if you compare the value only to the market value, still maybe it's not the best. It doesn't have the highest value. Of course, if you look at it in a more complex way, for example, for decarbonizing, for example, for pushing people to recycle more, pushing municipalities to recycle more, then yeah, it has more value. But if I compare let's say the production cost of biogas starting from organic waste compared to natural gas, with the prices that we have right now, maybe it's not the best solution. With the prices of 1 year ago, everyone was saying, oh, we have to produce biogas because natural gas is going up to the sky. Natural gas price is going up to the sky.
Yeah, and the conclusion is probably that natural gas is too cheap still, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
And
so policy should, policy should push towards some other evaluation that is not only market-based in the end.
Yeah, and we'll come back to how things could be possibly made more efficient, so bringing down prices then. But Ines, what's your view on the obstacles here? And maybe also from a marketing side, how can we make it even more valuable?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I would join Luca in the argument that we are missing in the market several things. We're missing the public awareness, we're missing the regulatory support, and we're also missing that the capital is flowing in that direction. So I think if we're looking just in an example, the topic of waste or net zero waste has been just adopted by COP in 2021, first time, plus the whole topic around circularity. So that already shows we're discussing a lot about the climate topics, but the waste topic is not high on the agenda yet, and that we're also seeing in how much capital is flowing into that. So that definitely is one challenge I see. We need to put it on the agenda, and then there can also go more capital in that direction. And there, I think it's also, and then looking at the funds in our space, that we also put it on the agenda next to other areas in the climate space. While and you can similarly see it in the different geographies. I think even those countries that are climate leaders in a way, if you look how they are treating waste, there are even the challenge that even those countries, in many ways, the numbers on each generation are increasing instead of the recycling rates. And I think that's what we need to change in this group with capital and the solutions to have.
That's good. And maybe there's a connection on the amount of investments needed. So we're talking about hardware in this, you're recycling waste, so you obviously need to treat real things. So you can't do a pure software solution to that, can you? And maybe a connection here could be if you compare with other big investment plants like hybrid green steel. I don't know if you heard of, but there is in northern Sweden big plans and hundreds of billions going into investments of making green steel. And if you could turn that kind of money into the waste management, maybe you would have even higher CO2 gains and gains for society. What do you think?
I mean, we are always thirsty for finances, but yeah, I would say that definitely, because currently the things that we are struggling with and facing between investments into different kinds of industries is that recycling doesn't matter which kind of recycling, either biochemical or even mechanical. All of those are undervalued and under-financed currently because as I mentioned, everybody is borderlining between greenwashing and actually making a green impact. So investors are really reluctant to invest these and governments as well. I mean, really reluctant to invest big amounts of money into unproven technologies, even if it works at laboratory. The next step is, okay, so at industrial scale, semi-industrial scale, will you be able to do the same thing? And then we are hitting the wall and saying, yeah, we need some funds to prove that, and they are saying, yeah, sorry, if you don't prove it, we're not giving the funds. So how you will solve it, ask your grandmother. But yeah,
that's good. But maybe we have in the audience and in this smart city context actually the funds to create a change like that. I think really that the municipality gathering is such a large community that large projects like this really could be funded. Do you have, I didn't prepare you for this question, but it just came to my mind, but do you have numbers of sort of the amount of investment and how much return that would give in CO2 capture? Maybe you're an established company, maybe you have numbers like that.
Well, maybe, honestly, I don't have this figure, but I would like to put another point in the discussion related to that. It is true that we are already established. We have an industrial process, and it is true that money is coming. I mean, a lot of investment funds are moving part of their investment, of course, not all, to biogas, biomethane, green energy, and the point is, from their side, from their point of view, is finding projects that have the right return of investment. And again, I go back to the economics. So on paper, there's money. They are willing to, because they promised to their investors that they will invest in green energies. Or also, let's say, big companies are looking to this because they want to decarbonize their process chain. But I don't have the number of CO2 reduction, but there are funds investing billions of euros or of dollars, as you may prefer, in this green energy transition, let's say. So, but at an industrial scale.
Yeah, and how much of the bio or organic waste do you consider is being recycled or recovered today? So what's the potential left?
Again, I'm sorry, I don't have numbers, but there are countries that are for sure ahead in this process. I come from Italy. North of Italy is well developing this organic recycling. South of Italy is not, and if it's doing it, municipalities are sending their trash, their recycled organic, to the north of Italy or to Germany, because they don't have plants where to treat that waste, that organic waste. Other countries are not doing anything. Another example, our company invested directly in a plant in the US, in California, and to treat organic waste coming from a big city of California. And the plant ran at 10% of capacity for months or for years, because in the end the municipality wasn't compliant to the law, that they had to stop sending organic waste to landfills and starting recycling it. COVID came, they asked for pause in the process. But the plant is there, and the plant is not running at 100% capacity as it was planned, and as the investor, that is us, planned to, because the organic waste is not coming.
So there is really a point of putting in everybody's head around the chain what the possibilities are here, and what happens if you actually do recycle it. We had a good print on the organic waste bag where I live for a while, and it said, well, if you fill this bag with organic waste and recycle it, it will take a car, I don't remember how much, 1 kilometer, something like that. So this little bag that I handed in is 1 kilometer, and I do that every 2 days or 3 days. So I mean, it shows that it pays off, like Renaud mentioned before. If you can get a measure to what you're doing, sort of size it.
And organic waste together with plastics, I mean, in my experience, is the major part of the waste at the end of the day. There is organic plastic and cardboard paper and a bit of glass and metal, and the unrecyclable part.
Okay, so are there ways that this quite heavy investment solutions, but quite powerful solutions, could be made more efficient in quick ways? I know, Ines, that you state on your website that there is nothing so fast, and so creating change as fast as software. So are there ways that this could be improved quickly? And I'll let you answer first, and then I'll turn also to the audience, because I know there is a lot of startups out there, and I think there is need for a lot of startups in your surrounding to really make this efficient and bring the prices down and the efficiency up. Ines, do you want to start?
Yeah, so I think, first of all, I like to stress in the end it's the combination. So we just see our sweet spot where we can create most value with the software solutions and those quick wins. And I think that's in any sector, as for carbon, but also for waste, similar, that the software is then an enabler that is the solution to short-term impact. Of course, we need all these great hardware solutions as well, and we should keep developing them. And I think but that's great to see in the digital environment that we see those new business models emerging also in the waste sector, supported by AI, by blockchain, by also any sort of automation that can help accelerate the process. And I think we have seen in the panels before, we have seen the companies, if we look, for example, at those new business models on waste trading and marketplaces. We had the example of Circular before, but you're also seeing that those new business models upcoming on more the sharing economy, where you also start avoiding waste in a way, like the example of Gruber in Germany, but there are many more cases. I think also companies here with great ideas on that, but I think then also in the area of just simply digitalizing all the different process steps from collection to transport and processing, where digital technologies can really come in and help. And here we are seeing also many companies coming to the market, and that's great.
Yeah, good. So before we turn to the audience, what are your needs? Could you identify needs where you would need, you could benefit from startups helping your business around?
Most definitely. For us, software is like a cherry on top of the cake, as hardware does the heavy work and heavy lifting of actually moving the waste, recycling the waste, collecting the output material, and then shipping it somewhere else. But the software is the thing that actually can make the process the most efficient. Especially, we have recently partnered up with Amazon and AWS specifically, where they can already generate computer-powered scenarios for different kinds of plastic waste streams. And so how we would see it is that one kind of startup is with AI, for example, determining different kinds of waste or plastics coming in onto the belt, then shredding it down, and then going into the reactor. And then from AI, this information is sent to the big CPU, which is operating the whole system and determining what kind of parameters should the system have in order to have the best quality output material, and then ship it off somewhere else, which could also, the logistics can be determined by the computer basically, and human involvement would be very minimal basically, and safe.
Great, yeah. Luca?
Yeah, from my side, I could benefit of something similar, of course, for the organic. And the organic collection is always not 100% organic. And therefore, if you are the final, let's say, the final destination of this organic, and you are willing to turn it into biogas, you expect to receive organic and not plastic and not other contaminants. And on the side of the process, well, the process is biological, so still there are some instrumentation controls and automation systems, but mainly is human driven. It's the experience of the technologist, of the biologist, and so on. but I see on the market that some startups, some companies are starting to propose some systems, integrated system to predict, for example, the biology, the health, or something like that. Something that up to some years ago was totally on the human end, on the technician end. So maybe this can be another development.
Yeah, and it would take a really long time to do so as well.
Yep, very good.